Welcome to the lecture of data science. In this video lecture, we will cover the topic that is fundamental concepts in probability, that is the axioms of probability from the unit number 3. So let's get started. The first one is that is according to the axiomatic theory of the probability of an event E, it satisfies the following axioms. So the first axiom is the probability of the event E always lies between 0 and 1. So you must have studied already in the semester 3 that the value of the probability always lies between 0 and 1. The next axiom is the probability of the universal set S is 1. So always whatever the universal set is, its probability will be equals to 1. The third one is the probability of X union Y is equals to the summation of the individual probability of the events, that is the probability of X plus probability of Y, where X and Y are the two mutually exclusive events. So what are the mutually exclusive events and what are the non-mutually exclusive events that we will see. So based on this axioms, the following elementary rules of the probability are directly deduced from the original three axioms of the probability using the set theory relationships. So these are the rules that you have to accept related to the probability. These rules are based on the previous three axioms. So the first one is probability of A raised to C is equals to 1 minus probability of A. So here A raised to C, it means the complementary event A. So just for an example, I am considering the online transaction. Then in online transaction, there are two different types of transaction. The first one is the fraudulent transaction and the second one is the genuine transaction. So suppose this A represent the fraudulent transaction. It means the P of A is the probability of observing the fraudulent transaction at an e-commerce portal. Then if I want to find the probability of the genuine transaction, then you have to do that is 1 minus probability of A. We know this formula, that is probability of A plus probability of A raised to C is always equals to 1. So when you make this as the subject, then you will get 1 minus probability of A. Now the next is, that is the next rule, that is probability of an empty or the impossible event is always equals to 0. So it is obvious, whatever the impossible event is, its probability will be always equals to 0. Then next is this rule, that is probability of A is less than or equals to probability of B. This is true in a condition where A is a subset of event class B. Just for an example, over here, the A represents the student with more than 3.5 CGPA and B represents the students with more than 3.0 CGPA. Then you can consider, then if I take an example that is the event A, then event A consists of the students with more than 3.5 CGPA. And this 3.5 is already included in this set, that is more than 3. So 3.5 is a subset of more than 3 set. So over here, this more than 3, it means minimum is 3, maximum it can be any CGPA, that is out of 4. So it includes the value 3.5. So I can say that A is the subset of event class B. So when A is the subset of event class B, at that time, this rule will always be true. That is, the probability of A will be always less than or equals to the probability of B. Now, the fourth rule, that is probability that either the event A or B occur or both will occur, is given by the formula like this, that is probability of A union B is equals to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. So what is A and B are here? these are the non-mutually exclusive events. So like this, there are some intersection between event A and event B. So if you want to find out the probability that either the events that is from A or B will occur, or they both will occur, then you have to use this formula. Then over here, it is given that if A and B are mutually exclusive events. So mutually exclusive events, it means the event like this. This is my event A, this is my event B. And you can see that there are no intersection between the events. So if you want to find out the probability of the mutually exclusive events, then it will be having the formula like this, that is probability of A plus probability of B. So over here, for finding out the probability of A union B, you have two formulas, the rule number 4 and 5. Rule number 4 is true for the non-mutually exclusive events, and rule number 5 is true for the mutually exclusive events. So if you have given some numerical, then in that you have to observe whether the events are the mutually exclusive or the non-mutually exclusive. So based on that, you can make use of the formula. The sixth rule is, that is, if I have the n events like A1, A2 up to AN that form a partition of the sample space, so at that time their probabilities will be like this, that is summation of all the probabilities will always equals to 1. So the summation of all the events, the summation of the probability of all the events will be always equals to 1. Now the next one is the joint probability. So what is joint probability? Over here we can find out the probability of A intersection B, where A and B are the two events in a sample space. So the joint probability will be given like this, that is the number of observations in A intersection B divided by total number of observations. So this, both the events A and B will intersect somewhere, and whatever the number is over here, that is the number of intersection that we have to use over here, that is number of observations in A intersection B divided by the total number of observations. So let's see the numerical based on the joint probability. So the data given is like this, that is from example 3.2. At an e-commerce service center, a total of 112 complaints were received. So 78 customers complained about the late delivery of the items, and 40 complained about the poor product quality. Because it is an e-commerce website, someone is complaining about the late delivery and someone is complaining about the poor quality product. So you have to find out that probability that a customer complaint will be about both late delivery and the product quality. And second, you have to find out that probability that a complaint is only about the poor quality of the product. So starting with the first one, there are two different categories of the complaint. So let A equals to late delivery and B equals to poor quality of the product. Then what are the events? What are the number of events of A? The number of events of A is 78, because 78 complained about the late delivery. So I will write n of A equals to 78, and 40 complained about the poor quality. So number of event B is 40. And I want to find out that the probability that a customer complaint will be about both late delivery and the product quality both. So I have to find out A intersection B, that is the number of A intersection B. So let's see that the total number of complaint is 112. It is given the total number of complaint is 112. So I can find out A intersection B like this. So summation of 78 plus 40. So let's see that the summation of 78 plus 40, it is 118, and minus the total number of complaint is 112. So I got the answer as 6, that is my A intersection B. So I want to find out the probability of A intersection B. So the formula is like this based on the joint probability. That is, number of observations in A intersection B is 6 divided by total number of complaint is 112. So I got the probability as 0.05. Now the next is, what is the probability that the complaint is only about the poor quality of the product? So for that I am writing, that is, I want to find out the probability of the complaint only about the poor quality. So I have in my complaints only two categories of the complaints, that is the poor quality and the late delivery. So to find the poor quality, I can write the formula like this, that is 1 minus P of A, because this poor quality is, B stands for the poor quality. So I'm writing 1 minus P of A, that is 1 minus probability of A. What is the probability of A? That is the number of observations in A, that is 78, divided by total number of complaints, that is 112. So I got the probability answer as 0.3035. Now the next example is this table 3.1 describes the loan default status at a bank and the marital status. So calculate the marital status that has the maximum joint probability of default. So over here we have to find out the probability related to the default and the marital status. So this table will be given to you, and in this table the loan status it is given, that is default and the non-default, and these are the different observations. Marital status is given, that is single, married, divorced, and these are the observations. So if you want to, if you see that how many total person with marital status as single is 300, out of which, out of 300, 42 are from the default and 258 are from the non-default. Similarly, for the marital status as married, 60 are from default, from the non-default is 590, and the total is 650. And the total number of observations are over here, that is 1000. So these are my total number of observations. So I want to calculate the probability of all the marital status related to the loan status as default. So I'm finding out the joint probability, that is the intersection. So I'm writing probability of single intersection default, and I'm getting the answer as 0.042. How I am getting this answer? Let's see. That is single is over here and default is over here. So its intersection point is over here, that is 42. So to find out the joint probability, I have to write down the number of observations of A intersection B, that is single intersection default. The number of observation is 42, divide by total number of observation is 1000. So I got the answer as 0.042. Similarly, the probability of married intersection default. So this is the married intersection default. So my total number of observations for A intersection B, that is married intersection default, is 60. 60 divided by 1000, I got the probability as 0.06. And similarly for the divorced and default. So out of all these three probability, that is single, married, and divorced, related to the default, I got this three probability, and the maximum joint probability out of this three is of the married intersection default, that is the probability of married intersection default. So next comes, that is the marginal probability. So in the marginal probability, it is simple, a probability of an event X, which is denoted by P of X without any conditions. So let's see this with the help of example. So I'm taking the same table for the example, and I'm writing all this event like this, that is X1, X2, Y1, Y2, and Y3, where X1 is the loan status default. So loan status default is like this. So how many total observations are there in the loan status default? So this is my total value, that is 115. So if I want to find out the probability of X1, then it will be the total number of observations, that is 115, divided by total number of observations, that is total number of observations in the default is 115, divided by the complete total number of observations, that is my 1000. So I got the answer like this, that is 0.115. Just for an example, now I am taking the example of Y2, that is marital status married. So this is my marital status married. See, for the marital status married, see the total observations are 650. So my probability of Y2 is 650 divided by the whole total number of observation is 1000. So I got the probability as 0.65. So this is what? This is the marginal probability. Now the next one is the independent event. So if there are two events, that is A and B, and these two events are independent of each other. So event A does not affect the probability of occurrence of the other event B. At that time, the probability of A intersection B will be probability of A into probability of B. Now, to find out the probability of A intersection B, again you have two different formulas. The first formula is this, that is if A and B are the independent events, then you have the formula of A intersection B, that is probability of A intersection B equals to probability of A into probability of B. But if A and B are related to each other, at that time you have the formula like this, that is A intersection B equals to number of observations in A intersection B divided by total number of observations. So if you view the complete video, then you will get an idea that you have two formulas for probability of finding A union B, and again you have two formulas for probability of finding A intersection B. So let's back to the independent event. So the best example of the independent event is winning the toss by the Indian cricket team captain in 2 consecutive matches are the independent event, because this tossing a coin is not related with each other. So these two events are not related with each other. At that time, the probability of A intersection B will be the multiplication of the probability of the two individual events. Next one is the conditional probability. So if A and B are events in a sample space, then the conditional probability of B will be given like this. So over here, the event A has already occurred. So we are writing the probability of B, pipe symbol, and A. So whatever the event A is already occurred is, that we will write on the right hand side, and we want to find out the probability of B, so we will write that on the left hand side. So its formula will be like this, that is the probability of A intersection B divided by the probability of the event that has already occurred. So this A has already occurred, so we have to write that the probability of A in the denominator. So of course the probability of A should be greater than 0, otherwise it will result in some infinite. If it is equals to 0, if probability of A is equals to 0, then the final result will be some infinite value. So it is not possible in terms of probability, because the value of probability always lies between 0 and 1. So this is my formula of the conditional probability. Now let's understand with the help of the example. So over here I am considering the same table, and I want to find out the conditional probability of default, and given divorced is, it means this event has already occurred, so I will write on the right hand side, and I want to find out the conditional probability of the default, so I will write default given divorce like this, that is default on the left hand side, divorced has already occurred, so I will write on right hand side. So what will be its formula? That is like this, probability of A intersection B. So let's see, probability of default intersection divorced. So this is my default and this is my divorced. So the value is 13. The probability of this intersection, it means 13 divided by 1000. So I will get the answer as 0.013. Divide by, what is it? the probability of already occurred event, that is A, which is written on the right hand side. It means the probability of only divorced. So the probability of only divorced will be calculated like this. So total divorced observations, that is 50 observations are there, that is 50 divided by 1000. I will get the answer as 0.05, and the final result of this division will be 0.26. Similarly, you can find out the conditional probability of default given single. It means single has already occurred event. So I will write on the right hand side and default on the left hand side. So default and the single. So you can see this is default, this is single. It is 42 divided by 1000 is 0.042 divide by probability of only single, it means 300 divided by 1000, that is 0.3, and I will get the answer as 0.14. That is the probability of default pipe single. So if you have observed the complete video carefully, then you can able to answer this question. If two events A and B are independent, then which of the following is the correct answer? Thank you for watching.